Hello, this is Mark Taylor. I just wanted, before this episode started, to come on and apologise for the fact there was no episode last week. We currently have a child in hospital, and she has been in hospital since October, and I'm now recording this in January 2018. So it's been quite a traumatic time for us, and I've managed to keep things going as best as I possibly could last week. So sadly, it was just one of those weeks where it really wasn't possible with the greatest will in the world. I just wasn't able to keep on top of it. I suddenly ran out of everything that we needed just so that I could support my family. So I want to apologise for there being no episode. We are back again this week, and I'm putting things in place to make sure that we can finish off this season and make sure that our next season, season 5, can run through without a hitch. But I will come back to this topic and I will keep you filled in about what's happening, because I think it'll be important, especially for us as teachers and people that have time restraints and lots of things going on in our lives, and how we make that work within our professional situation. So we will explore this a bit more. But first of all, I just wanted to again apologise for the fact there was none last week. Hello and welcome to the Education on Fire podcast. The place where we share creative and inspiring learning in our schools. Season 4, episode 58. Hello and welcome. I just wanted, before you listen to the interview today with Eric from Active Music Digital, to let you know of an offer he's giving you as Education on Fire listeners. He's giving away 18 months for the price of 12 months as part of his membership, which is a fantastic offer for all of you Education on Fire listeners. All you need to do is go to educationonfire.com and search for Active Music Digital in the search bar. The show notes will pop up, and there'll be a link to his page where you can sign up with all your details as he requests. And then you also just click on the link which sends me an email. And on that email, just leave your name and the name of your school, and I'll make sure that he knows that you've been in contact with me, and that will give you access to the 18 months for the price of 12, which is a fantastic offer. And I'll let you listen to the interview so that you can hear exactly what it is that he's got available for you. Hello and welcome back to the Education on Fire podcast with me, Mark Taylor. Today I'm joined by Eric Wachter, and he's from Active Music Digital. And that's the ultimate music scheme for practical music teaching in the primary school. I have to say there are loads of things I love about this, but the most important one is the fact that you can actually visually see music happening within a primary school, which is absolutely brilliant, and you can actually just follow these things through with all the resource material and all that sort of thing. It's everything I've been trying to think about how to create myself, and I found it that someone's already done it, which is absolutely brilliant. So welcome, Eric, and thanks so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having me on the podcast. Looking forward to it.
Fabulous. So let's start with, how on earth did the idea come about, and exactly what is Active Music Digital?
Okay, well, let me first start by saying, as probably the listeners can hear, I'm not English. I'm from the Netherlands, so if I struggle with my English, then I apologize for that. However, where shall I start? Once upon a time, it's quite a story where it sort of started, but I can't take credit for creating Active Music. Active Music is created by my wife, Sally Wachter, or Wachter. But it started when she was teaching. She was a full-time primary teacher, and she kind of didn't like the full-time teaching. So she decided to specialize in music and solely focus on music teaching. And at some point, she decided to sort of leave full-time teaching and just starting training teachers and doing workshops and out-of-school music clubs. That was sort of around 2000. When that happened. Then at some point, when she did the training and the workshops, people said to her, how can we remember? Because her specialism was sort of singing games. And then they started to say to her, how can we remember all of these games? I mean, we love them, it's great fun, but how do we remember them? So she started to take a group of children and starting to film all these games. And that is in 2007, we released around 6 singing games, books and DVDs. Containing around 200 plus singing games and musical activities for key stages 1 and 2. And that sort of evolved. And then at some point she had lesson plans that she had created over a period of time that her friends wanted to use. And they said they were really beneficial. But again, lesson plans, when you have activities within the lesson plans, it's very difficult again for people to remember them. So what she did over a period of many years, I can't exactly remember how many years, but she created a series of 168 skill-based progressive lesson plans influenced by Kodai, so that teachers can teach skill-based music to the children following these lesson plans. And each of the activities, and in total in the lesson plans there are hundreds of activities, and they let me think. So she took a group of children again into a film studio and recorded all the games and activities, so that all the teachers, as you already said, can see it. So in 2012 we launched the hard copy. There were 8 DVDs and 8 CD-ROMs with the lesson plans and the DVDs. And in 2015 we decided to go digital because we struggled with selling to America and Australia. To send parcels of it is quite expensive. It takes a long time. Things get lost. So Active Music Digital was created in September 2015. And that's where we are right now.
And I think the whole technology development is really important, isn't it? And it is that kind of, once you get out of the practical thing, and everybody now just goes and downloads things, they want that instant access. And what I loved about looking through your site is the fact that it is very slick and it works very quickly, and you can set yourself up immediately and start using it.
That is the beautiful thing. And also you don't have to wait a few days before a parcel arrives. You get your username, your password, and off you go. And what I really like about it is that, when a school signs up for Active Music Digital, with that same username and password, all teachers throughout the school, either at home or in school, can access all the videos, all the lesson plans. And that is what I love about the digital side of it.
And the other thing that I really enjoyed as I looked around was, as I said before, I, as an educator and a musician, I've been thinking about how to create something like this because with my work, I'm doing samba, and there are videos that have been created of my workshops as well. It's how you get those things across, and the amount of time and effort and organisation it takes to actually create the amount of content you've got. Must have been incredible to actually organise.
I mean, my role in this was to look after our children while she was going into the studio. This was really good because Sally was still involved in schools. She had access to the children, and all the children absolutely loved these singing games. She also did like Saturday workshops where about a whole day, 40 children would come and they would play singing games the whole day. So lots of these children were already trained in these games. And so she picked kind of the best and took them over a period of 3 years, took them into a studio. We hired a film crew. And there are in total over 640 individual video clips of games and activities, singing games and musical activities. It was an incredible project, but also a hugely satisfying project because once you've got it, it's incredible. You can serve now so many people around the world who can benefit from this resource.
I think that's absolutely true, and what I like about it is the fact that it's very straightforward in terms of you've got it linked into Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, you've got rhythm related things, you've got singing related things. Can you just sort of take us through exactly the sort of the areas that it covers?
Yeah, I mean, I've written a few things down here because I was thinking you might ask this. So if I give you a little summary of Active Music, it is based around musical skills. It's not based around topics. It covers every practical music making element of the Music National Curriculum. The particular aim is that for children is to find and develop their own singing voice. The whole, all the 168 lesson plans covers 2 terms. And we've done that specifically because lots of schools already have like Christmas, Easter. There are all sorts of other projects going on in schools. So this fits right in between all of these projects. For periods of 6 weeks in the lesson plans, we focus on rhythm and pulse, pitch, singing games, and instrumental activities. And when I say it all links together, it is created in a progressive way. So if you learn something in year 1, for example, you pick the same sort of activities but on a higher level in year 2 or year 3. So that is, you can pick it up in any year that you want it. Let me think. What else can I tell you? Also, so you have the 4 different elements: the rhythm and pulse, pitch, singing games, instrumental. With all of that, like you said, comes the lesson plans, the DVDs, the video clips. And our kind of slogan is that teachers, and this is what I like about it, is that it empowers all teachers to teach practical music. And we want to empower them so that they can watch it, then they can learn it, and then they can teach it.
And I think that, in a nutshell, really is the most successful part of it, because I definitely thought, as an educator myself, I could watch this and pick it up and it would work fantastically well. I also know that from the CPD workshops that I've done in the past, what's really, really important is exactly what you said towards the beginning of the interview, is the fact that in the midst of it, everyone goes, oh yeah, that's great, I can understand this, it works really well. And then the next day or the next week, when you're trying to put it into your classroom, it's still in there, but it's not quite as fresh, it's not quite as easy to do. And just having the resources at your fingertips, just that refreshing ability to be able to just see exactly what it is as you start to build up your skills and you start to understand how the course works, is absolutely crucial.
I mean, the feedback that we received from teachers, I remember Sally once coming home and she had spoken to a teacher who has been teaching for 25 years. And for his whole teaching career, he thought he could never, ever teach music. And once he got his hands on active music, it was like a new world opened up. He suddenly felt that he was confident to be able to teach music. So it's incredible to hear, the impact that this scheme has got on teachers who lack the confidence to teach music.
And how many schools, how many teachers are now using the platform?
Well, I've looked into that, and it's quite difficult to exactly say how many individual people, because when a school signs up, I don't know how many individual teachers actually use the platform in that school. But just to let you know, we have 2 platforms. One is called Active Music Digital, which is all the lesson plans and then the 640 plus activities. But we started to receive some feedback from people saying, we love the activities, but we simply don't need lesson plans. I've created my own lesson plans, but I'm looking for more activities to add to my own lesson plans. So that's where we came up with the other platform called Active Music Pick and Mix, which basically contains all the 640 plus musical singing games and musical activities, all the song notations for each of these activities, all the explanations, and of course each video clip, so that teachers can become members of that site just to draw from the activities. And combined, I mean, again, I don't know how many people bought the hard copy. I know that we sold to hundreds and hundreds of schools here in the UK for the hard copy. But since September 2015, we currently have around 368 organizations using the platform. And the Pick and Mix has got close to 1,000 organizations using it.
That's amazing. So that tells you exactly what you need to know in terms of people being able to access it and also use it and continually go back. And like you say, if that's each individual one of those as a school rather than a single person, but it's actually been used across the school with many teachers using it, and that's an awful lot of children that you're affecting, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a little testimonial here. I don't know if you have time for that, but
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I received it about 2 weeks ago, and one of the first music hubs here in the UK that started using active music was Rotherham Music Service, and they got Sally in to do training, and then they bought all the hard copies for all their 103 schools. And I received an email from one of these schools, and this is what she said. I did the training you delivered in Rotherham a couple of years ago, and active music now is having a great impact in my school. The reason, by the way, why I want to share this testimonial is because active or music teaching affects many different aspects of the school. So she continues, active music has gone down well with staff and children alike. The children absolutely love it, which just goes to show how important it is to keep music alive in our schools. It gives much needed balance to the constant demands of the core subjects. And for some pupils, it is the only area in which they shine. We all feel happy at the end of a session, and that can't be a bad thing. Many of our children are vulnerable and coping with difficult situations at home. There has been an increase in children staying after school for choir sessions too, and a few children accessing instrument tuition. All signs of increased interest and enjoyment. The staff all have different degrees of music knowledge, from none to high level, and some staff are learning alongside the children's, but active music gives all a common way to teach it and give all children equality of access. So when I received this, I thought, yeah, that is exactly it. It enriches the children's lives. It makes the life of the teachers so much more easier and enjoyable. So a testimonial like that, I would like to receive every week if possible.
I think that's brilliant because, like I say, it covers such a wide range of things there. It's really important the teachers are enjoy doing it as well. It's really important that the children do, and that's the fantastic thing about the videos is you can really see them just putting their heart and soul into it and enjoying every moment of it, and that's the key. And like you say, the more overarching effect of that is purely the fact that it helps the children's learning, it helps their well-being, it's got a different focus than just the STEM subjects, and all of those things together. And it's really great to hear that you're actually the teachers that are using it really see it for what it is. It's not just a resource to help you get through your next music class. It's actually changing basically the heart of the school and its general well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for your listeners outside of the UK, an additional little bonus could be, I mean, we've had quite a bit of feedback from particularly schools in America who absolutely love to hear the British accent. When the children there in the classroom hear the children sing, they just comment on the British accent. So that's just a little extra bonus there.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. And I guess the other thing is the fact that it does cover all the elements you need for the national curriculum, which is fantastic. But what I've always said in my musical workshops that I've done is that if you just create great music, then you're more than tick all the boxes you need to about the curriculum, because it's just about actively learning how to be a musician. And the other thing that I really like about it is the fact that when I go in and do samba sessions in a school, you can tell immediately whether the school is musical or not based on their general amount of ability of pulse and rhythm and all of those things, because it's ingrained, because they've been doing it over a period of time. And I think that the skills that you're imparting right from the beginning of school all the way through are just an integral part of all of that. So if you're in a school that has the option to actually have a first access opportunity, or you can start to create an ensemble, whether it's recorders or an orchestra or something like that, these things are just giving you the building blocks you really need right from the very beginning.
You know what also is very nice? Singing games itself, they give you the opportunity to be a child again. When Sally goes in and does workshops or training, people always find in the beginning feel uncomfortable when they have to do these games. But the amount of laughter that goes on, and it's really like people are going back to when they were younger, and they're having so much fun playing these games. And when teachers are having fun playing these games, the more easier it is to pass it on to the children.
And I think the key word there to get across, and actually this has just really come to me that from having watched the videos, is it's the game element. It's the fact that we're not now learning a song. It's like we've got a phrase that we're singing and we're going to bounce it around and we're going to add some personal elements. It might be that I'm going to direct this song to you and then you're going to reply and you're going to direct it to someone else, and it's repetitive. And like I say, it's the comfort zone, isn't it? And the confidence that comes from that, from the teachers and the children, is so valuable.
Yeah.
So from a technical point of view, as we said, you can watch the video clips, you can download all those things. You also do stuff so that you can use it on whiteboards and that sort of thing. So do you have a sort of practical element where you want the children to also be watching it and seeing it as well? Or is it much more the resources for the teachers to then bring their own take on it into the classroom?
Are you asking if we have like special memberships for children, or because the way it works is that when a school has got an account with us, that they can access all the videos, so the children can access the videos as well within school. I mean, is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, because I know you have the ability to use it for whiteboards and all that sort of stuff. So I was just thinking, it's a very much a practical thing that you're actually providing, and with the games and all the videos and those sort of things. But as a practical guide of how to use it, is it more about the teachers get to use and do the research in terms of learning these things, and then they bring it individually to the class? Or do you also recommend maybe that the children actually watch the videos themselves to see how it works, and then they start to incorporate it?
Initially, it is the teachers.
Yeah.
For the teachers to watch it, learn it, and teach it. However, if you go to our website, we've also created an account, a membership, which is really cheap. It's only $2.99 a month. And that's pounds, which gives you access to all the 640 plus videos. So if children absolutely love it and they come to our site and they want to have access to that stuff, there is an opportunity there as well. We wanted to make it available to as many people as possible. And actually, one of the things that I'm currently thinking of to do in the new year, the 2018, is to offer schools a different membership whereby all families in the school could have access to the resource. So, because the evidence is when children start playing singing games, it promotes positive play. It promotes so many positive things around building relationships. So, we're looking into the opportunity to broaden it out.
I think that's a brilliant idea because our youngest daughter is 10, and so that sort of element of playing and also the interaction from a technology point of view is really important for her too. And there are many sort of social media related games which I know sort of actively incorporate music within them. But to have a safe environment where they can just think, oh, I remember doing this in my class, last week. Why don't we do that? But I can't quite remember all of it, or I'd like to just recap. Or I know I was told there was something new that I could look at. And just to have an environment where they could do that would be absolutely fantastic.
And the other thing is, and we've seen it happen again and again, as soon as children see the singing games, within minutes they are playing it. And it just creates such positive atmosphere. We used to have a little side element of our company called Promote Positive Play, whereby we just chosen the specific games that would really promote positive play amongst children. Singing games it's an incredible tool for children to have a good time, enjoy each other. You don't need computers. Once you play the game, you go outside and you can play it with your mates. You share it. It's something that I hope that we will see sort of the return of the singing game on the playground.
Yes, I'm sure that's true. And before you mentioned there's a 10-day free trial, which just means that everyone has access to really see what it is. And as I said before, it's so easy to delve into, the link between the videos and the worksheets and all of that. You can see the whole progression if you want to follow it as a whole syllabus, but also the ability to think, oh, there's a rhythm game for that particular type of thing. That works incredibly well, I think. So a 10-day free trial. If you then love it, which I'm sure people will do when they have a look, what's the cost after that, and how do they progress? Okay,
well, like you said before, we have 3 different levels. In the UK, we call that Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, and Key Stages 1 and 2, which is basically 4 to 7-year-olds, 7 to 11-year-olds, and 4 to 11-year-olds. The 4 to 7-year-olds, Key Stage 1, we charge £75 a year. And that is basically for a whole school to have access. So every teacher in the school can have access to that. And the Key Stage 2, that is this 7 to 11, is £99 a year. And then the whole package for all ages is £149.50 in a year.
I mean, I just think that's incredible value. And as soon as you look at the site and you just see, as we've been talking about, 600 plus videos, all the worksheets, all the support material that you have there, you've got sort of 15 plus years experience of someone who's delivering this in CPD workshops in schools, and everything that you just want to know at your fingertips. I just think for that amount of money, it's an absolute no-brainer, and it's the sort of thing I was looking to create in that way of kind of, I knew this is the sort of thing which would really help teachers, and to have come across it and actually seen it is such a brilliant thing, and I congratulate you on putting the whole thing together.
I'll pass it on to Sally. I'm the guy who sort of markets it and makes the connections with the local authorities and stuff like that. But I'll pass it on to Sally.
So you talk about the local authorities. I mean, do you sort of have different ways of working? So you obviously have, if I was a teacher, I can just sign up or a school and get access to it. But are you finding more and more with sort of music hubs and those sorts of things that sort of partnering and that sort of access is actually gaining you some traction too?
Yes. I love music hubs. It's their responsibility is to ensure that schools have got really good resources or access to training and stuff like that. And so we definitely try our hardest to connect to music hubs. But, every music hub is different in each local authority. So you need an individual approach to every music hub. For example, there are music hubs that buy in for all the schools, and there are music hubs that will share the knowledge of your resource to the schools, but then each individual school has to make a decision. But right now, our Pick and Mix website, Active Music Pick and Mix, that website contains just the singing games. And what we have like a special offer for the music hubs in the UK, whereby we say to them for the amount of £500 a year, they can give all their primary schools access to Active Music Pick and Mix and for a whole year. And that way we're trying to create a win-win situation whereby we offer them incredible value for the money that they have to invest, but also we also give them the incredible opportunity to support all the schools in the area. And regarding Active Music Digital, we are working with around 4 music services at this moment who are keen to for their schools to use Active Music. We're kind of at the beginning with that. I've really focused on rolling out to individual schools, and now I'm trying to on building relationships with the music hubs.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And I guess the great thing, having gone digital from, like you say, the CD-ROMs and those sort of physical things, is the fact that it's much easier to do that once you have those relationships and once you're working with different people, that you can do it. And like I said, they've got access almost immediately. And I guess from an expansion point of view, you talked about Australia and America. Is that's something that you're obviously looking to expand in as well? Because while they obviously link to the national curriculum, as we said, it's about learning to be a musician and getting the skills of being a music student. So it's viable for every country.
I mean, if it was topic-based, it would be different. But because it's skill-based music teaching, you can basically in any English-speaking country, they can use this. So yeah, we have customers in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, South Africa, India. We have all over the world where there are English-speaking schools. They're our customers.
That's brilliant. And my final question is what type of instruments do you use within the instrumental section of it as well? Are we talking about classroom percussion instruments or things that you would find in a school, or do you go into sort of instruments sort of beyond that as well?
No, it's classroom percussion instruments. The whole aim, like I said before, is for the children is to find and develop their own singing voice. And so we want to make it easy for the teachers to use the classroom instruments. Just make it straightforward and simple. We don't have to get lots of instruments in. I think those 4 different elements of rhythm and pulse, pitch, singing games, and instrumental activities can all be done using percussion instruments.
I think that's brilliant, and as I said, and I'll say it again because I think it's such an important point. This is for anybody that is thinking, I want to get music going for everybody in my school and I'm not sure where to start, because it just gives you all the resources and everything that you need to do that. And also, if you're already an established teacher that's doing lots of music stuff, because of the range of resources and the ideas, and I've been doing this for sort of 20 years, there were some great things I came across that I'd never heard of before that I thought I could just incorporate that really simply into what I'm doing already. And the fact that so many of the games are children-led, once you've started them off and can be incorporated as a children-led activity, like you say, it just gives the whole thing it's got a family feeling about it, which I think, in terms of, as we talked about, having it at the heart of a school and a feeling of ethos within a school, I think that's a really important part to get across as well.
Absolutely. And what we've seen is children who are really normally disruptive in the classroom. But as soon as you include them, involve them in singing games, even give them opportunity to be a leader, you see the negative behavior disappear, and you see an increased engagement. It's really good.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for chatting to me. It's been really interesting to get an insight behind it, and as I said, I love looking through the workshops and the worksheets and all the videos. It's been really interesting to see how it's been put together, and I know from personal experience the amount of work and the amount of effort that's gone into create it is incredible, and it's such great value for money. It really is, and I urge everyone to go to the website and take the free trial and have a real look round just to see what that is. So why don't you leave us with the best way of getting in contact and the best way for people to actually see what it is that you've got to offer?
Okay, I've got a few things there. If you want to get the free trial, I assume that all the information will be in your show notes as well, so they can find it on your website.
Absolutely, that's just at educationonfire.com. They will be all on the show notes. Thank you.
But if they want to go directly to access the 10-day free trial, simply go to www.activemusicdigital.co.uk, and the process is very simple. It's click on the button and you can start your free trial.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for that, and that's real great value for all of you listening, and I really hope you take that up, because it's such a great resource. And so educationonfire.com, and search for Active Music Digital, and the show notes will pop up, and we'll give you all the information we possibly can on there, and take you through everything you need to know. So Eric, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking us through such a great project, and I wish you the best for the future, and I hope you get many, many more schools taking part.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you, and I wish everyone happy music teaching. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the offer that's available for you as listeners of the Education on Fire podcast is if you sign up for a year's program as part of the membership, you'll get access for 18 months. So it's 18 months for the same price as 12 months, which is a fantastic offer. Just go to educationonfire.com, search for Active Music Digital in the search bar, and the show notes for this podcast will come up. Click on the link, which will take you to his site, and you sign up as normal. Then just drop me an email on the link below, and that will then make sure that I can let him know that we've been in contact, and I just need your name and the name of your school. I hope you really enjoy this as an opportunity. I think it's a fantastic resource, and it's something which I was looking to be able to create myself, and having found it through Eric in Active Music Digital, I think it's just a wonderful thing that will really help get music started in your school. Thanks for listening to the Education on Fire podcast. For more information of each episode and to get in touch, go to educationonfire.com. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire.